Welcome everybody to our Kahoot quiz game tonight. Fact or fiction? I'm happy to have some folks here in front of me. I see some people are still coming in online. If you are online right now and haven't already, you can go ahead and sign in to the Kahoot game by either scanning the QR code, which will lead you to the game, or you can go to kahoot.it and punch in that game code as well. That will get you into our Kahoot quiz for tonight. I have a few things to cover, so you have some time to go over or to get logged in before we get started, because tonight's program is part of a series we're doing this winter, trying to help people with information literacy. And round one of tonight is going to go over a lot about what that actually is, what that means. But basically, we're trying to help give people the tools to better understand what they're seeing online in their various news articles or on TV, trying to determine what is true, what is fake, what are good sources, bad sources, what are biased sources. So hopefully after tonight's quiz, you'll have a little bit more information about how to go about doing that to make yourself a little bit more informed when you are looking at things online. We do have other programs going on this winter. I forgot to grab one of these little sheets. These are all available to sign up for today. So next month, January 17th, how to get out of your echo chamber. That program is about kind of your own internal bias. We all kind of have our own predetermined ideas of how things work or how things are, and that can all steer us towards a certain direction of thinking. So that program is kind of geared towards identifying your own internal biases and how you can combat them and recognize them, and then try and be more open-minded in your understanding. I have a program coming on February 1st, all about AI. So tonight's program, we are going to be looking at a lot of different AI images. So this program will be good for those trying to understand more about what AI is, kind of what it's doing these days, both good and bad. So the professor, Friend DePaul, is going to be coming and talking about kind of some of the advantages to AI that we are having today, but also disadvantages like deep fake images or voice cloning. So that'll be a good program to learn more about AI. And we are having a panel discussion on February 7th. We're going to have people from different sectors of the world. So finance, news sectors, they're going to come in and be able to answer questions about different misinformation that you're seeing out there in the various fields that they are in. So financial misinformation or medical misinformation, news misinformation. So we're going to have a great panel discussion on that, which will be here in the library. And the last program, Means and Misinformation, is a youth program. So they know more about that than I do. But that is a program designed for younger kids and families. All right, so let's go ahead and progress with our game tonight. Again, if you haven't yet already, you can scan that QR code on the screen to connect to our Kahoot game, or you can go to kahoot.it in your browser and punch in the game code to join if you have not already. So how Kahoot works, before I start the game, and you can join in afterwards too, is I'm going to have 4 rounds tonight. Each round's going to have 10 questions, and it's a speed-based game. So the faster you input your answer into your device, the more points you're going to get. You're not going to lose points if you answer incorrectly, but if you get it in right away, you're going to get more points. If you wait a little bit, make sure you get it right, you'll get less points, but you'll also be right. So there's no shame in waiting a little bit to make sure you have the right answer. Round 1, I will admit, is a little bit more dry than the other round, because I want to give you some kind of basic information about information literacy and what that means. But then rounds 2, 3, and 4 are going to be a lot more fun, I think. So that will be great. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get this started. Oh, and I forgot to mention that our top scorer tonight is going to get a $10 gift card, virtual gift card, to your choice of either Dunkin' Donuts, the Glenview Grind, or Lumonati. So make sure if you win here in person, let me know, and I'll get your email information. If you're attending online, I'll make sure and get your email information that way as well, so I can send you that gift card of your choice. So good luck to tonight. Okay. Don't worry quite yet. I have a lot of different slides here. So again, welcome tonight. Again, my name is Ryan Hellenbrand. I haven't said that yet. I'm a librarian here at Glenville. You'll see me at the reference desk upstairs, reader desk downstairs. I host various programs. I also teach tech classes like the cloud class or classes on Excel or on Google products. So I do know a little bit about technology. I'm not going to be the master of everything, but I hope you will enjoy tonight's quiz. We do have a website up right now with some tips and tricks on how you can be more informed online. That program or that series is going to be pushed a little bit more in January, but you can get to it from the URL down below, or there is a news article on our homepage. If you scroll down a little bit, there's a news article with some of our librarians being asked questions about how to be more info literate. And you can get to this blog from there as well. It gives you some nice websites to help fact check or tips on how to suss out incorrect information. If you're joining in late from online, you still can join the game. You can go to the kahoot.it on your website in your browser of your choice on your device. And the pin is down below at the bottom of the screen. So you can join at any time. Otherwise, you don't have to play in order to join. In order to enjoy today's program, you can just listen and watch and guess yourself as we go along. All right. So round one is going to be about what is information literacy. So what does that mean and what can you do to be better at it? So let's go ahead and get started with our first question. So again, this will be a speed thing. So the faster you get it right, the more points you will get. All right. So which of the following best describes information literacy? Which of the following best describes information literacy? Tap the answer that you think is correct. All right. Looks like most of you selected the correct answer. The ability to find reliable information. Very good, very good. So information literacy can mean a lot of different things, but boiled down in a nutshell, it is about finding reliable information. It's about locating, evaluating, and effectively using information from various sources, and also understanding what a good and bad source is. So it's really about interpreting what you were seeing online. And again, we are inundated by information nowadays on our devices, on our computers, phones. So it's important that we kind of take a time to look at what we're seeing and identify if it is a good source or not. Next question. You have a copy of a speech given by important person X, who is a key player in the history you are examining. So that is what kind of source is that? A copy of a speech given by important person X. What kind of source is that? Excellent. It's a primary source. Now, I know this is kind of going back to school, perhaps, for a lot of you. But the reason I wanted to ask this question is because it's important to think about, is this source coming straight from the horse's mouth? Exactly. Is it coming from the person who it actually happened to, or a person who actually said it? Because you need to be aware of what you're seeing online. Is it something that came from secondhand, that somebody may have distorted, perhaps? So a primary source is straight from the information. Secondary would be from, again, secondhand. So somebody either decided to recopy it or had a secondary account of it. And even a primary source might not be foolproof. Let's say a translation of a primary source could have been mistranslated. Somebody could have chosen different words for the person's mouth. So it is important to kind of look at those things. All right, next question. If several pieces of evidence leads you to the same conclusion, they may be said to blank each other. Yeah, that was fast. Corroborate. They may be said to corroborate each other. So it is, if you see a news story online and you think this seems kind of outlandish, or like, is this actually true? It's important to look for other places that are saying the same thing. If you can't just take a single headline at face value, you want to make sure there are other sources that also are saying that same thing. It gives it more credibility. You kind of got to go beyond just the one source that it's true, especially if you are all in doubt if this is actually true or not. You want to make sure you find other sources. A recent example for myself, some of you may or may not be football fans, but there was an article saying that Bill Belichick, the head coach of the Patriots, was going to be out this season. After this season, I was like, what? He's been there for how long? He's had one bad season, they're going to oust him. So I looked at other sources, and yeah, there have been lots of reports saying that he's going to be out this year. So I was doubting myself. Is this actually true, or is this source that I'm looking at just making something up? It's so good. It's important. Again, look at other sources to see if you can corroborate. Blank refers to the perspective of possible agenda of document or witness. It may or may not affect the validity. So blank refers to the perspective or possible agenda of the document or witness. Well, that was easy for everybody. Bias. Yep. And that's exactly what we're going to be covering in the How to Get Out of Your Echo Chamber program on January 17th. It's kind of uncovering your personal bias and overcoming that. But also, it's important to look at the bias of things that you are reading. Now, and we have websites that you can go to, especially political websites, and see if one website leans heavily left or heavily right. You're going to get articles and headlines that are going to skew that way. So it's important to understand, where is the author coming from? What is their possible bias? What is their possible agenda when they are writing this article? All right, next question. Which of the following is not a common criterion for evaluating a source? Which of the following is not a common criterion for evaluating a source? Yeah, that was an easy one. It was fun. Fun is not a criterion for evaluating a source. I don't care how fun it is. It needs to have the other aspects to it. Is it a currency? So is it a current article, or is it super old? It could be outdated. It could be wrong now. Maybe it was true at one time. Now it's not. Authority, is the person or source somebody who's credible? Do they know a lot about this field that they're writing about? Are they somebody who's trustworthy? Do they have a background of misinformation? And then perspective and bias. So again, what is the agenda of the person who's writing the article or the image? Next question. Which of the following websites is most likely to contain authoritative government information? Which of the following is most likely to contain authoritative government information? Another easy one. Again, it'll get more fun after this round, okay? But again, lay in some ground rules here. Good job, everybody. So yes, .gov. .gov is a domain reserved for government entities. This is a big way when you're looking at websites and you're doing a search in whatever engine you use for searching, and you see the domain name. That's what happens at the end, the .gov or .com or .edu. That is a giveaway on what kind of website you're about to click on. So .gov is used mostly for government entities. .edu for educational entities. .com can be a lot of things. A lot of businesses, anybody can get a .com. So an org is mostly for nonprofits. So Glenview, we have an org as a nonprofit. So keep an eye on what that domain name is at the end of the URL. Next question. What term is used to describe the kind of advertisement you see here? What term is used to describe the kind of advertisement you see here? Clickbait, exactly. Clickbait. And if you do any searching online, you're going to see this non-stop. And it's tempting. Whenever I click on clickbait, clickbait is not bad in itself. It's just somebody who's making some kind of sensationalized statement or something that's going to get you to click on it to go to their website. They're trying to get you to go to their website so they can get more traffic and they can sell more advertisements. It's all about money. So clickbait in itself is not malicious or evil, but they are making these statements that you're gonna have a reaction to get you to click. And even if you were to click on that article about those ducks in the water, I bet if you did, you'd end up on a website with a whole bunch of other articles and ads and things, and you can't make out where you are. And the picture with the ducks isn't going to show up until you've clicked through 1,000 more clicks to go through a slideshow to get to the actual ducks. So it's just people who want to get clicks to go to their websites. So if you see anything surprising, alarming, shocking in the title, most likely it's not worth your time unless you really like to see those cute ducks. And they'll be there somewhere in that website, but it might not even be in the way you imagined it was going to be. It could have been misleading. Which of these headlines is most likely not an example of satire? Which of these headlines is most likely not an example of satire? Okay, most of you got that one. Yes, YouTube Music will finally replace Google Podcasts for good in April 2024. Last week. The other ones you see here, I all pulled from a website called The Onion. If you're not familiar, The Onion is a satirical website where everything they post on their website is a fake news story that they've written up for entertainment reasons. So satire in itself is protected by free speech. So it's not bad. Satire is not a bad thing. It's not evil. Depends on how it's used. So the Onion, again, is entirely about making fun or they're making these statements, perhaps, on a point they're trying to make, but it is all wrong. It's all fake news. I found this interesting. If you go on their website, and most of these satirical websites will say they are satire. If you look at their website, go to their information, they'll say that they are all about satire. And I found this in their FAQ, saying that if you want to sue The Onion because they make these weird, outlandish statements in their articles, they say, please do not do that. The First Amendment protects satire as a form of free speech and expression. The Onion uses invented names in all of its stories, so et cetera, et cetera. They're explaining what they are. So again, that's where you have to investigate what you're reading. Is it actually a true story, or is it somebody making satire? So again, corroborate what you're seeing as true or false. All right, next question. Blank is false or misleading information presented as real news. Blank is false or misleading information. Yep, you got it, fake news. Fake news, we hear that term a lot nowadays. And there's lots of different forms of fake news. Satire is one of those. Again, not malicious. They're just having fun. It's entertainment. People will go to The Onion for entertainment to see these wonky, fun news stories. Clickbait, also there. Again, not necessarily trying to trick you, but they are trying to evoke a response from you. But then there are worse kinds of fake news. Fake news used as propaganda. Trying to trick people into thinking a certain way or trying to get them to think a certain way. Conspiracy theories. conspiracy theories, or misleading or out of context information. This happens a lot. Just or putting up a tweet or a message that is totally taken out of context. If you were to read the entire interview or the entire article, it would make sense, but they take it out of context, make it sensationalized, but it's not actually real. That's where you have to kind of double check your work and not take everything at face value. So there's lots of fake news out there. It is hard to parse out the real from the fake, but that's something that we all have to be diligent about doing. Okay. One last question for this round. How can you spot fake news? How can you spot fake news? All of the above. Excellent. This is my last learning lesson or deep learning lesson before we get into the fun rounds. So all of those things are about spotting fake news. So these are all things that you can do. Consider the source. So are they somebody who's authoritative in that field, or is the source going to have an agenda they're trying to push on you? Read beyond the headline. So don't take a headline and say well, you already have an opinion, you already have an idea of what that headline is trying to say. Actually go and read the article, and you might find out it's doing something else, or there's more to the story. Check the author. Is there actually an author at all? Can you find out if they are an authority on the topic? Can you find out if they are credible? Are they real? Are they made up? Find supporting sources. So find other websites that are corroborating your story. Check the date for currency. Make sure it's not super out of date. Is it a joke? Is it satire? Is somebody just having a fun time? Check your biases, your own internal biases and the bias of the article that you are reading. What are they possibly pushing? And then you can always ask the expert. If you're unsure, you can ask us, librarians here, or you can consult a fact-checking website like Snopes. I use Snopes to help do the rest of my quiz tonight, a lot of it. So Snopes is a fact-checking website where they see a news story and they go through the lengths of finding out, is this news story real or not? It's fun to go through there and kind of see the efforts they go to find out for sure. These are all things you can do to spot fake news. Whew. It's a lot to take in, but now we can have a little bit of fun for our future rounds here. So our last three rounds are going to focus on you trying to figure out what is a real picture or a fake news story, or what is an AI generated picture. In round two here, I want you to tell me real or fake. Real is going to be your left option, the left choice. Fake is going to be your right choice. And that's going to be, is this picture real or fake? So I'm going to give you a picture, and you need to see if it's real, left choice, fake, right choice. All right. Let's do it. If anybody has a question at all, just want to interject to say anything, feel free. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Anybody online, you can go ahead and submit a chat. I am monitoring that. If you have anything you want to say or ask, I'd be happy to answer it. I do have pauses in the Kahoot, so I can only take a break and answer a question. All right. These pictures, are they real or fake? Giraffe eats plane. Is it a true, real picture or a fake, false picture? Most of you said false. That is a real picture, already tricking you. Nice, I did it. Oh, look at our scores here. Excellent. So the picture is real. It's all about perspective. The plane is further away, while the giraffe is in the foreground of the picture. So it looks like the giraffe is eating maybe my description maybe fooled some people too, but it's totally a real picture. It's just about the depth of where things are. So somebody might say in a headline saying, this giraffe eating plane, while the picture is true, they're just making a statement that is not true. Picture. Look closely, be critical. Next picture. Floating power lines. Real or fake? Again, most of you said fake. That's a real picture. I said fake too when I first saw this picture because I thought it looked kind of fake, but apparently it is not. It's a real picture. It's just a burnt power line that's being held up by power lines next to it. That's what was described in the picture. So it just looked like it was like some kind of artistic choice, but no, it's just one power line that got burned, but still being held up. So it is a real picture. All right, next picture, polar bears, real or fake? Got some trues, we got some falses. It was indeed a false picture. And I'll tell you why. And this is something we see all the time now in pictures that are edited. If you look closely at this polar bear, these polar bears are all the exact same. They just copied this polar bear and pasted it over here and over here. And it's people who know how to use photo editing software can do this pretty easily. So that is a fake picture. I don't think polar bears, adult polar bears even do this in real life, hanging out this close to each other. I'm not sure. I'm not an animal expert, but they are the exact same polar bear. Fake. This picture of a man. Real or fake? A lot of you said true. Some of you said false. It is a fake picture, which is incredible to think about. This is the other side. The polar bears is someone just editing the picture, you know, pasting that polar bear in there, while this one is generated by AI. AI is at the point where it can make images like this that really make you think this is a real person. It's not. This person is entirely made up, does not exist, was created by AI. AI is getting better and better as we go on. The people who the source I have listed here, there are giveaways. I'll talk more about some giveaways later on that make you understand a little bit how the picture might be fake. This one, if I look at it, like I see, I mean, some of this could be just maybe people have birth defects, but like the eyebrow was a little bit wonky. This eye seems larger than this one. The hair, I don't know, it just seems kind of in the forehead. It kind of seems like it's melding in, it's blurry. And that could be just a picture too, but there are little giveaways that kind of help you, but it's hard. It's hard. I think I said true as well when I first took this quiz, so it's not easy. All right, next. Stormy skies over Paris. It keeps splitting down the middle. True and false. So most of you this time did say that was false. And this was actually, way to go, Thomas, 4 in a row. This was 2 pictures put together. There's a picture of a stormy sky and a picture of Paris that the person put together to make this. And again, people can do incredible things with computers and photo editing to make it seem like it's real, but it's not. Just 2 images kind of put together. Next, beach glowing blue. Real or fake? A lot of quick answers there. I think I have an idea of what the gut reaction was. Maybe not. It was true. It's true. I think I might have said fake too, because like what kind of beach glows blue? But apparently that is just bioluminescent algae, or I forgot what they called it exactly. It was a plankton or some kind of this bioluminescent little beings that made that beach go blue. So even though it looks like this can't be real, it is. It can be. There are incredible things in this world that you may not believe at first glance. So a glowing blue beach is now one thing that I believe can happen. So I did at first. All right. This Die Hard remake starring John Krasinski. All right, a lot of people on the trigger there. It is false. It is false. Yeah, I saw that come up last week too. I was like, is this real? I mean, you look at that poster and it entirely could be a poster that somebody in Hollywood could have made. But no, just somebody made this as a joke. I think it came from a source that regularly makes things like this, just fake movies or fake headlines that's funny. They label it as satire. They self-label themselves as satire. Although I would probably watch this movie still, but it's not real. It's not real, unfortunately. All right, next. Safety standards in the 1960s. Safety standards in the 1960s. It's true, yeah. You all believed it. That's great. It totally is true. I don't the title that they put in there, this I don't know if that is probably added in by somebody who found the picture and posted it online somewhere, but this is a true picture of this. I forgot where it was. Does it say there? Oh, Wyoming. But this is actually true. So no buckles, no rails, and good old mom keeping her child safe there. That looks terrifying. But yeah, it's a true story. Funny and also true, but terrifying. All right. This photo of Leonardo da Vinci and Mona Lisa. Is it real or fake? Yeah, it's fake. That would be too dramatic, right? There's too much mystery about that Mona Lisa painting. So this is just somebody who entirely made this picture, made it up, made it look old, even, to give it some credibility, but it was entirely fabricated by somebody. So not a real picture. All right, our next last one for this round. Jimmy Carter sledding at Camp David. Jimmy Carter sledding at Camp David. Yeah, that's true. Must be some Jimmy Carter fans out there. I guess, I mean, I don't know Jimmy Carter that well, so I didn't know to believe whether or not he would sled at Camp David, but he definitely would. He definitely would. That's a real picture of him taking a break from leading our country to do a little sledding. So real picture. All right, so I hope you got a little bit out of that round, just kind of identifying pictures, the possibility of, are they actually real pictures to begin with, Because you get them all the time, especially in social media. You're going to see pictures everywhere that are not always real. Because it's so easy to make them fake now. The technology, AI can do it for you. You don't even need to be an artist or somebody who can go in and do photo editing. AI can just make these things now for you, and you can just tell it what to make. It's incredible. So I encourage you also to attend that All About AI program February 1st. If you want to learn more about AI and kind of what it's doing now, kind of the current landscape there, that'll be a good program to learn more about that. So it's pretty incredible. All right, our round three is going to have a mixture of true and false and multiple choice. So round three is going to focus on news stories. These are news stories that have real news stories, but are they true or are they false news stories? So you need to figure out if it's a true story or a false story. Our first one. NASA is installing internet on the moon. NASA is installing internet on the moon. It's true. So again, these are all stories that actually came out, but are they true stories or fake stories? This one actually is a true story, but it's a little bit misleading, that headline. So they indeed are bringing internet to the moon, but not the same kind of internet that we have here on Earth. Their goal is to be able to communicate between their lunar lander and their rover. So they're going to have a different kind of internet on the moon for better communication. But not you're not going to be able to have internet that connects here on Earth, and be able to talk to somebody on the moon. So it's a little bit, you got to look at that headline and go beyond that to actually figure out the real story behind that. What are they actually doing on the moon? So again, go beyond the headline. So this was published last week or about a week ago, December 6th. What's our next news story? Does video show Big Ben wearing a massive North Face jacket? Does video show Big Ben wearing a massive North Face jacket? It is false. Yes. I didn't show the actual video, but it is a video of like people who are photo cameraing around Big Ben, and Big Ben has a giant way to go, Tom S. in the house. So once you dig into the picture, it gives there's some clues kind of giving away, or it's a video again, some clues giving away why it's not real or not. So for instance, the woman at the beginning of the video was pointing in the wrong direction, and the phone which another person is seemingly capturing a picture seemed to be off. So just things are weird about the video because it was totally edited. There wasn't actually a jacket on Big Ben. That would be crazy. This is just a marketing stunt or marketing thing by North Face, making some kind of a funny statement about Big Ben wearing a jacket. So not an actual event, just a kind of marketing stunt. Let's post it that we can go to. True or false? Has the Fruit of the Loom logo ever contained a cornucopia? Has the Fruit of the Loom logo ever contained a cornucopia? False. It has not. And I think I said false as well. So did that question right? Has the ever contained a cornucopia? I think I did it backwards. No, wait. Yeah, it hasn't. It's never contained, so it's false. It's never contained a cornucopia. This is called the Mandela effect. It's like a lot of people kind of thinking the same thing that was true, but it actually wasn't. So people collectively thought there was a cornucopia in the Fruit of the Loom, but no, there never was. It's just the fruit. There's no cornucopia there. And I would have swore too, looking at that image too, is like, there's definitely a cornucopia there. No, just collective misbelief or incorrect belief. True or false? This abandoned plastic soda bottles may be Drano bottle bombs. Abandoned plastic soda bottles may be Drano bottle bombs. And it is true. It's a true story. This one's a little bit older. This one was back from 2010, but they were a real thing that was happening. A bunch of youthful pranksters going around making these Drano bombs. There were occurrences happening around the country, apparently. So not just in one location, but you would fill a plastic bottle, aluminum foil, Drano, they'd react, and it would create a little bomb. So that is a true story. Did happen. I think I said false too, but it's science. True or false? Are these pics of Harry Potter cast partying at a rave in the 90s real? Are pics of the Harry Potter cast partying at a rave in the 90s real? It was false. When I saw these, it was fun to look at them. It was hilarious, but totally, there's a whole bunch of them, a whole bunch of pictures, but every single one of them was created by AI. AI did the entire set of all these series of all the of actors doing different things at this party. So I think there was one of Ronald Weasley passed out, or Professor Snape is like screaming in front of a crowd. So they were all fake. They looked believable. It looked like the actual actors and actresses, but again, that's just AI creating images for fun, just people doing it for fun. And it was fun, but it was not real. True or false? Did scientists genetically modify cats to glow in the dark? Did scientists genetically modify cats to glow in the dark? And three of you got that right. It is a true story. It's true, but again, similar to that first story with NASA, it's not the whole story. You see that headline, and that was the headline, but it's not entirely the whole story. So it was actually a byproduct of something else that scientists were doing. They were doing, what was it? Doing research, studying feline immunodeficiency, where they were injecting them or modifying their genes, and the byproduct was that they were actually glowing a little bit. So that wasn't the thing that they were trying to do, but it was true. They did make cats glow, just not the main reason for the study. So while that you see that headline, you're like, well, that's just crazy or that's nonsense. But again, go beyond the headline, read into it, and you'll learn more about the story. Because the headline's meant to just give you an instant image. Next question. One day on Venus is longer than a year on Venus. One day on Venus is longer than an entire year on Venus. And that is true. And I didn't know this when I did this, but yeah, the Venus spins so slowly on its axis that one day, one spin around its axis takes more time than going around the moon, around the sun, one revolution. So that one spin takes 243 days for one Venus day. A year is 225 Earth days to go around the sun. Science, right? True or false? Did Mark Twain say, no amount of evidence will ever persuade an idiot? Did Mark Twain say, no amount of evidence will ever persuade an idiot? That is false. Good job. All then family moving up on fire. So there's no evidence, there's no record of Mark Twain ever saying that. So these things will often come up. Somebody will tweet something, or somebody will put some kind of a post out there on Facebook or Instagram, wherever. In this case, they put some kind of a quote from Mark Twain. But if you dig into it, and Snopes did that, they dug into it. There was no evidence of him ever saying that. And then furthermore, they find somebody else that earlier, this is from August 2012, I find a post from May of 2012, somebody saying that same thing, and then somebody else just chooses to take it and then make it their own and say whatever they want. So you have to be careful of, these are just people saying whatever they want in the Twitter character limit. So you have to be careful of what's actually true. And what you decide to retweet may not actually be true. So before you do that, you might want to ensure that it is correct. It is true. That was published again recently, back in November. True or false? Are the pyramids so old that even King Tut might have considered them ancient? Are the pyramids so old that even King Tut might have considered them ancient? And that is true. And that's just talking about time. So, I mean, ancient kind of depends on how you consider it to be ancient. But for instance, King Tut, born in 1300 BC, whereas the pyramids of Giza were built, the ones you think of when you think of the pyramids, were built in 2250, 2490 BC, 1,000 years before King Tut ruled in Egypt. Would you consider 1,000 years to go to be ancient? Well, perhaps. So in that case, King Tut may have thought of those pyramids as being ancient. All right. True or false? Last one for this round. Should an empty toilet paper roll or red cup be placed under the toilet seat at night? Is this helpful? Should an empty toilet paper roll or red cup be placed under the toilet seat at night? It is false. This is one of those clickbait. It's just, and you have the ones that are like saying they're shocking, or ones that are trying to evoke an immediate response. And you have clickbait where they're just trying to say something like this, right? This is, hey, check out this trick or this tip on how to do this better. And this is one of those examples of just somebody putting this up there as a way to click on that to find out more. How is this red cup or this paper towel tube going to help me? But all they want you to do is go to their website, and then it ends up being one of these slideshows. And the very last slide will talk about this red cup, and it ends up being something entirely different. It's not actually helping you. It's not a life hack. It's not helping you. It's just them trying to come up with a headline to get people to click on their link. So there's no evidence that putting that on your toilet seat does anything for you other than make you look foolish. That was published back in 2021. Okay, so that was about real news stories, real in that they were stories that were put out somewhere, but were they fact or fiction? Our last round, I'm going to be showing you two images. So images on the left, image on the right. You need to tell me which is the AI created image. So which of those two images was created by AI? Essentially, which is the fake one? Which is the fake one? So that's what you're looking for. And this will kind of highlight some of the power of AI and what it can do. All right, first question. Which image was created by AI? Left or right? Which is the AI? Most of you got that one right. Yep, the one on the right. That was your AI image. Yeah, people coming up. So the one on the right, that was created by Deep AI. So AI does have the hardest time of images. It is with people, and there are giveaways. There are things you can look at. The examples they give here are the bulging cheeks, the kind of protruding eyes a little bit, the kind of perfect looking line for the hair, like cartoonish almost. The forehead almost looks a little bit weird here. That could be hair, but there are just little things. And if you know, obviously, if you know JFK, know what he looks like, you might also be a giveaway. But those little things that you can look at to figure out which is the real one, which is the fake one. All right, let's do our next one. Which is the AI created image? Spaghetti. Excellent. Most of you got D quickly. Yes, that one on the right was the AI created image. Way to go, Maury. So if you look closely at that, you see kind of how neat the noodles are versus being more organically kind of messing around. People who are more into shadows might think of look at the shadow and think of that as being fake too. I don't see it, but it could be. I'm not a shadow, I'm not an artist myself. So, but yeah, the noodles kind of being way too neat looking. All right, next image, which is the AI image. Ooh, most of you were fooled by that one. I was too. I had the same. Oh, tie for second there almost. I had the same problem. I picked the one on the left too. On the right looked pretty good, but this is where you really got to look closely. First off, apparently AI has a hard time with ears. Ears are not quite right. This ear is a little bit too small for the head, I think. But look closely at the hands. The more you look at those hands, the more you realize that ain't right. There's something, that's not how a hand is supposed to look. It's not quite there. So AI doesn't do everything perfectly. So that is the AI image. All right, next up. Which of these is AI? One's tough. Well, most of you got that one wrong too. It was the one on the right. That was the AI. Oh, people moving up. Watch out, Tom. So this one helps a little bit if you have an artist's eye, because the one on the left is a Degas painting, and the one on the right is, oh, how this worked, by the way, I didn't say, is that somebody took the image on the left and asked AI to remake it. And so that's what AI did, is it remade the image on the left. So the one on the right is just a little bit too vibrant for a Degas. So is it really supposed to be that bright? Or less, I don't know, less graceful, more lively. That one it's tough, you know. When you're looking at art can look like a lot of different things. It can be realistic, it can be less, you know, it's tough. But that is the one that is AI generated from the Degas. All right, next up. Which is the AI image? There you go. Most of you got that one. It was that one on the left. And that one, again, if you look closely, oh, things are getting close up there on top. If you look closely at the one on the left, you can definitely see something is wrong with the dog's back legs. It's kind of all twisted up with this tree trunk. And kind of the too perfect forest floor. It's like a perfectly kind of almost smooth looking soft floor, whereas the one on the right, you can definitely see it's a forest floor. It's got some texture to it. So you got to look closely at those things to see if it is been generated. All right, next up, which is AI. Excellent. Most of you got that one. It was the image on the left. Very good. Oh, Andrew moving into first place. Way to go. So the image on the left is the generated one. So if you look, it's kind of got, it says here, flawlessly smooth petals. They look, you know, almost too fake if you look closely. And then you kind of think about, it says here, the imperfection of roses. So the roses, these are not quite perfect, there's little dimples here and there, whereas these over here look perfect. Like nothing seems to be wrong with them. All right, let's keep going. A few more, which is the AI image. Most of you did what I did. I picked the one on the right as well. I thought that was the fake one, but no, it is not. And this Tom back in the front, this one is another one of those kind of artistic things. So the one on the right is just traditional Japanese art, where the one on the left is what AI created. And again, if you kind of look at it, again, you gotta think from an artistic point of view. But if you look at it, sometimes I look mostly up above here, like what is going on with this little lip here? It's like this wall. It's a wall that's kind of it's jutting out into it, and there's branches coming out of this roof. It's like you can't make a whole lot of sense of it. Is what I understood is kind of why it's AI. And the one on the left, I thought like this guy's got a backwards head. This doesn't seem right, but that's just artistic, how they drew in Japan back in the 13th century. So tough one. All right, we're almost there. A few more. Which is the AI image? Again, look closely. All right, most of you got that one right. It was the image on the left. And I'll explain why. There we go. Way to go, fax number printer. So the image on the left is the water. AI has a little bit trouble with water too, kind of like faces or bodies as well. So if you look at these waves, there's like nothing happening between the waves. It's like smooth water, wave, smooth water. And that's not quite how water works, especially when it's that wavy. So that is an AI created image. All right. Which is the AI image? Oh, only one of you got that one correct. It was the left image was the AI image. Way to go, fax number printer. So the AI on this one, so they explain, so it creates this kind of desolate landscape that could pass for something horrific happening, but you can't really see anything up too close. This is a tough one. It was a tough one. Like there's nothing really being depicted here. You can't see much of the landscape. You can't see anything beyond it. It just kind of looks like nothing on this ridge. So it's AI. While the rest, the one on the right, you got some depth, you got smoke, you can kind of see some more of the landscape. So the left one was the fake one. Now, I think I might have one more. Our last one, which is the real and which is the fake? Or which is the fake one? I mean, sorry, which is the fake one? Which is the AI image? Oh, all of you got that one correct. Yes, it was the image on the right. I think just hopefully was looking through all of those images, you get you get a deeper appreciation for what AI is capable of doing. And so you're not looking at every image you see online as something that is immediately true, because it's an image, it's a picture, somebody did it, you know. Not anymore. Now we have to be a lot more careful about what we're looking at online and evaluating it and seeing is it true or fake. Is because AI is ever improving. Uh, and so this image on the right is a little bit too perfect, a little bit too perfect, especially the hair, way too smooth, way too smooth. So it's just compared to the image on the left, hand drawn. All right, so our winner tonight is, we're going to see our top three here. Third place, Alden Fam, congratulations. Second place, Andrew, good job. And first place, we have Tom. Congratulations, Tom. Good job. You are the winner of our fact or fiction quiz game. I hope you guys enjoyed our trivia. Those of you who are attending online, you enjoyed that trivia, learned a little bit about information literacy. It's a lot of what we do here at the library. So if you're ever in doubt, you can always ask us or check out any of those fact-checking websites. Snopes, again, I did a lot with Snopes, which is a really good fact-checking website. And there are other ones as well that we have a link on our website from that news story I mentioned where you can get to some of those websites. But yes, just be critical. Think about what you're seeing, reading online, because it's tough out there. We're getting bombarded nonstop. So be vigilant, be ever aware of what you're reading. So I hope that helped a little bit tonight. I'll make sure and get your information, Tom, before you go. But that's all I have. Ended a little bit early. I didn't know how long this was going to take. So I hope you enjoyed our, isn't it? Oh, it's right on time. Right on time. I'm amazing. Holy cow. So